You might have heard someone among your friends. You might have heard from someone among your friends or your relatives who's mathematically minded about Fibonacci sequence. I've explained what Fibonacci sequence is in the text that I have posted. And you might have heard also that the Fibonacci sequence occurs in nature all the time. If I just say that, it might not be very convincing. But if I give you an example of it, you might accept this a little bit better. For example, so I'll give you one. The picture that you see is a sunflower. And you can see the seeds inside the sunflower arranged in a pattern. If you look carefully, you can identify spirals. You can see spirals that go to the middle. As soon as you see one, if you start counting how many arms are there in that spiral, you'll get a number. You once again look at it and look for a different spiral, you'll find it. And then again, if you start counting the number of that new spiral that you identify, you will notice that the numbers belong to the numbers on a Fibonacci sequence. So the example that you see has 21, 34, 55, and so on. This occurs also for pine cones, and there are many other places in nature where the Fibonacci sequence is followed. Why does it follow it? If you have a bunch of seeds and you have to arrange them in a circle or in a cone, and if you give it to a computer scientist and say, find me the most optimum way of arranging this, they go through a lot of work and do algorithms and program it. Eventually, they'll come up with a design that will lead to this Fibonacci numbers. So nature basically uses these spiral patterns with a certain number of arms to optimize packing the seed so that it can spread and it can grow and evolve. I was just trying to explain Fibonacci sequence as a theory and how that works in practice through an example, because I believe that's what helps those who are trying to assimilate something do that more effectively. So we are being told about soul. Very difficult, it's abstract. we need some examples. Arjuna is in the same boat. Arjuna is a representation of all of us. So we need examples. And in this verse 39, that's what Bhagavad Gita is saying. It's saying that so far you've heard discussion of soul in an abstract manner. Now let me give you some practical aspects of it. Through that, if you learn a bit more about it, learn it well, that might lead to enlightenment. The word Sankhya is used, which is basically theory. And the phrase Buddhir Yoge is used. The word yoga has about, 200 meanings in Sanskrit. I went to the Sanskrit dictionary. It is one of the words that has the most meanings, I would say, that I have come across. So we have to be very careful every time we hear that word yoga in interpreting it or understanding the context, so that we will understand the meaning of that word in that context. In this verse, of course, Bhagavad Gita means it as the one that we most commonly use it for, discipline. So, Buddhir Yoga is disciplining of the mind. After you learn more about the practical aspects of soul, is going to lead you